Okay, I see.
Client experience strategy that generates repeat and referral business. Hello, everybody. My name is Roxanne Govari with Pemberley Realty, and along with my partner, Santiago Garrett.
Hello, everyone. Looking forward to talking on this great topic today, and let's get right to it.
Let's get right to it. So, we are realtors and we are in San Diego, California, and we've been in the business of buying and selling homes for over 20 years. And today we want to talk about this experience because we have noticed that the majority of the workforce in our business is younger. It is getting younger and younger naturally, right? As I age and Santi gets more experienced.
Yeah,
So and with that comes the experience or the client experience, and we want to talk about that. We want to talk about what it takes to actually get into a home, what it takes to get the customers in or out of a home, and how we can enhance that experience so that buying and selling homes becomes easier and not so scary and complicated and stressful as it could be.
definitely.
And the better that the agent can do their job, the less painful the experience is for the customer and the client.
Mhm.
So you want to get this to a point where no matter how complicated things are, no matter how stressful it is on the agent, that the client still has a smooth experience, doesn't even know about all the problems that are happening behind the scenes.
Mhm.
So essentially, a great agent makes it look like uh, the whole transaction was a piece of cake.
Yeah, makes it look easy.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And we know that that is definitely not the case. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of the times when you are talking to customers or when you're talking to potential customers, the common thing that they say is, "Well, the agent doesn't do anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?"
Mhm.
And since we're in the trenches, we're in the business, we know that that is not the case,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? We
We
know
definitely go
that
through that.
there's a lot of complications, there's a lot of communication that needs to happen, there's a lot of coordinations that need to happen, there's a lot of people that need to come together to make a successful deal happen. And also there's a lot of skill that's involved because emotions run high, and if those emotions are not navigated through skillfully, things could fall apart, and transaction could derail very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
So, so we come to the point that basically um, going through a transaction is not just doing a lot of paperwork. There's a
Mhm.
lot of emotions involved. There's a lot of financials that are involved, and there's also a life-changing experiences that happen that people go through, and that's what we're there to make sure that we can manage the transaction from the beginning to the end, and get everything done smoothly so that the that life change that's happening is not basically um,
Yeah. A big chaos.
a big chaos. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it's the biggest purchase, you know, the family could have. So definitely something
Exactly.
that, yeah, very important.
Now let's talk about some of the bad experiences that could happen, right?
And there's a lot.
Um, There's a lot. There is a lot. Agents could disappear during the transaction. They could be hard to reach at the critical times when you need them.
Mhm.
Um, you they may not be explaining the process well enough so that you're confused. You don't know what's happening. Um, Surprises could pop up. Either during the transaction or late in the process, um, and or they're not handling you with white gloves, so you feel like you're just another transaction
Yeah.
to them.
Hmm.
And these are all the examples of what not to do.
I mean, and there's like a ton more that you can kind of talk about. I mean, because this is something that, you as the client could see yourself, but then there can be some other things outside of that that they might not be serving you, the best way or representing you the best way. Like negotiating wise, they could be, difficult with the other agent, in communication wise with the other agent on the other side, being difficult with escrow officers or, whoever it is, just making things difficult for everyone in general, not just the client. So that could also be something that's not, a good experience.
I'm so glad that you bring this up because this is also worth talking about, with the fact that in the US, because lately we are hearing a lot about how other places do it,
Hmm.
how other places conduct their real estate transactions and real estate deals,
Yeah.
and one of the things that we hear is this concept of buyer agency. This concept of buyer agency is kind of unique to the U.S., unique to Canada, and unique to Australia. But if you look at some other countries, the concept of cooperation between the agents and the concept of buyer agency is not very common.
Hmm.
And I think we all have worked with people from different cultures who are very adamant about working with the listing agent.
Yeah.
And I actually at first I did not understand why that was. And then once I started actually looking into that, I realized that in a lot of other countries, buyer agency does not exist.
Hmm.
And so, because of the fact that buyer agency does not exist, then buyers don't have the experience of working with a buyer's agent.
Hmm.
And in our environment where that we do have buyer agency, we know how valuable buyer agency is, and we know how much we actually provide a better experience when we have buyers agents representing buyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And saying that and talking about that, we know because we're mostly on the listing side because we're mostly working with sellers in the capacity that we work. Not to say that our brokerage doesn't have other agents and that we don't have a representation for buyers, but in our team between internally between you and me, we're primarily representing sellers.
Hmm.
That being the case, we hardly ever represent buyers on the same deal
Yeah.
because each agent is doing a better job and giving better experience when they're exclusively um, representing buyers or exclusively representing sellers,
Yeah.
right? Don't you
Yeah.
agree with that?
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree to that because, I mean, sometimes you don't want, to favor one over the other. If, you're dealing with both, then, that can just open up like you say, a can of worms.
Exactly.
So,
It really can open up a can of worms.
yeah.
So So let's keep talking about it, and I'm glad that you brought up the whole experience of of all the other people that are involved and how important it is to have good relationship between the two agents because you have a much smoother transaction when you do have two agents,
Yeah,
one agent that represents the seller, one agent that represents the buyer, and the two agents work together to make sure that the buyer and the seller have the best experience.
I can agree. Yep.
Okay, and so let's talk about what is actually some of the things that need to be implemented to make sure that the experience is more favorable for the client. So you want to have clear communication. You want to have guidance. And not just basically provide information, but actually give advice into what's the best course of action to take, and also to be proactive to solve problems, to make sure that they don't even turn out to be problems, that they're solved even before they become problems, and then if problems do arise, that you navigate through them, um, so that the client does not is not affected or stressed with the problems that arise.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Take over anytime you feel like it, Santi, because I apologize. I'm a little under the weather, and
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, clear communication is important, knowing what's happening, not just guessing or spilling out information to your client, like just to say something. Uh, Even handling those issues, like you did mention, just beforehand, everything, being able to come to your client and tell them, hey, this issue came up, but this is what I did to take care of it. That just brings relief to the client in general and makes a better experience, in my opinion.
absolutely, and also being transparent, and making sure that the problems are communicated. Um, you don't want to handle a transaction in such a way that the client doesn't know what's going on. So
Yeah.
you always want the client to be in the know about what's going on, and then at the same time to provide solutions and provide that steady hand for the client to know that yes, these are the issues that we're dealing with, but you're
Hmm.
in good hands, and we will resolve them. That you don't have to worry, um, and give assurance and the confidence that needs to be there to address those issues.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, just being on top of things is crucial, and it makes everything a lot easier for everyone. So
So now let's talk about moments that matter the most, right?
let's do it.
So the moments that matter the most are, of course, the beginning,
Hmm.
right? When you first getting together with the client, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that you do listen, and you understand the client's goals.
Yeah.
You can address what it is that they are uh,
Looking for, right?
looking for, right, and be able to deliver on those goals.
Exactly.
What about during the transaction? This
Yeah.
is where you shine because you do such a great job. So talk about those pointers
Yeah, I
during
mean, the
the
points.
transaction.
Yeah, the points that we have here for during the transaction is the agent calm, when it comes to pressure? Do they communicate clearly when things are could be a little bit more difficult than they should? I mean, I think that's very important, because if you're able to stay calm, I think then that you know resonates with the other person that you're talking to. If you're talking to them in a you know, pretty chaotic tone or with stress, that stress can probably reflect to the other person, and you know,
Yeah.
you definitely don't want to do that. So staying calm under pressure when things might get difficult is very important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So what about after closing though?
yeah, I mean, after closing, some making sure to stay, I mean, my opinion, staying in touch with the client, being able
Yeah.
to basically still be part of, because I mean, you do kind of become like, you know, a little family for helping them
Yeah.
purchase a home. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a big purchase, so being able to keep up with them, stay in touch, uh, being there in their lives, after the purchase
Yeah.
is uh is something very nice, and that a good agent, should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it relationships really matter in this business,
hmm
and uh, and that's why post closing relationships matter so much.
yeah,
And there's so much that happens even after closing. And if the agent walks away without staying connected, then all of the needs of the consumer after the transaction are not being met.
yeah, hmm yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, I mean, being on top of your past client is always nice, because I mean, they gave you some business, so it's always nice to reciprocate back and still be in touch with them. I mean, and this really matters with, it sticks to the buyer. It sticks with the buyer,
yeah,
or the seller.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And um, let's talk about why this matters, right? Why this matters, that the agent is basically paying attention to the beginning, the middle, and the end. Um, because again, we're talking about the real estate transaction
Yeah,
being difficult and very stressful. So, well, what are how
um,
can the agent contribute to giving a
yeah.
better experience?
I mean, this matters to the client, because it's just picking the right agent. Less stress, better decisions, which could mean, probably a little bit more extra money in your pocket, you know, or losing a bunch of money, right? So, better decisions from the agent is important, fewer surprises with, and more confidence from the agent. So, being
Yeah,
able to handle tough situations, stressful moments, that's very important, because at the end of the day, it's a better financial outcome to you, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about the big question. How do you choose the right agent?
I mean, picking the right agent is that's one of the most important things, right? You don't want to pick uh, a random agent that you found on the street. You do want to get someone that communicates with you. That's been that you've known, that they communicate clearly, that they educate you, kind of just like how we're doing right now. That they are organized agents, that they have a reputation um, in the community. um, you know do you feel comfortable talking to this agent, asking them questions? Do you have a good relationship with them? Because if you're shy to talk to your agent about certain things, I don't think that is the right agent to have. um, they're handling super important information of yours, and financial, and a big financial decision. So having the right agent makes it a million times easier for you, and not hard.
Um, let's talk about referrals, because in the world of AI,
Yeah,
um, you know, there's a lot of thinking going on that with AI coming through, will people still um, give a lot of weight to referrals, or will they just go using AI?
I mean, AI can refer you to agents, but it's completely different to when someone you know and trust gives you that referral or that agent. AI could tell you this is the best agent, but you haven't really met him. You don't have a connection with this agent, so you don't even know if it's going to be the right fit for you. So, um, friends and families refer you to someone, they already have trust with that person. So that, should also bring trust and care to you as well as a client from that agent.
And I think also if a client or a customer, or if you're getting somebody through a referral, then that is an endorsement of the experience that they had with that agent.
Yeah.
I know, like right now uh, we were looking into a construction project, and we were looking for contractors.
Mhm.
And yeah, I could go online, and I could go and prompt the AI and find a bunch of contractors. But at the end of the day, it's that experience that I want to make sure that I hear about.
Yeah.
And if I'm talking to somebody else who has used that contractor, and they can tell me about their experience, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable moving forward with that contractor that I would be just relying on what I get online.
Mhm.
And what online reviews, for example, would tell me about their qualifications and even the experience that other people have.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's a lot more personal if it's someone that tells
Mhm.
you, because it's more indirect with your, day-to-day life. When
Yeah.
as, ads on the internet, which is where the, AI usually picks things up, it could be, you know, made seem that it's great and it might not be. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Those hidden bombshells
yeah.
um, exist within the AI recommendations that
Mhm.
do not exist when you're going with a referral from
Right.
somebody that you know, like, and trust, and
Mhm.
somebody that comes in through them with an endorsement.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, very good. Well, this is a very important topic, and I'm so glad that we explored it. And thank you for being a partner with me on talking about this and thinking about this and breaking it down for our customers, because our customers deserve the best, and we actually service clients all over. The country, and of course in the county of San Diego, where we personally work with buyers and sellers, as well as anywhere else in the country where we have trusted advisors that we partner up with to create that excellent experience for our clients and help them move forward.
Yeah.
So, on that note, there's my phone number if you guys want to contact me. And there is Santi's phone number if you want to contact him. There is our website where you can learn more about what we do. We also are on Instagram as well as on Facebook, and we would really appreciate it if you give us a follow. And of course, we are here, and we have been providing excellent service for over 20 years to our clients, our customers, and our referral partners, and would love to be your go-to agents as well.
Definitely.
So, and what do you want them to do, Santi, if they are watching us on YouTube?
Yeah, if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, you can go to YouTube and, like and subscribe, so you can see all our upcoming videos, because we do post these every week. So
Every week, every week.
everyone informed.
All right, very good. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us and for being our audience for another amazing topic that we talked about. And make it a great day.
Bye, everyone.